She was living an announced tragedy because she couldn't break inside her with a feeling that was destructive and had caused a kind of dependence on her. Yes, because even what is bad, we get dependent. Look, the addiction. A person who uses cocaine, for example, he knows that cocaine destroys it. And yet, she doesn't know how to say no to cocaine addiction. Yes, we can be addicted to people just as a person addicts in cocaine. It creates within the mind such a narrow, so dangerous, so vigorous dependence that the one who is living slavery can come to death. We saw, for example, that couple of the girl who was thrown from the building. That everything, the building's surveillance cameras showing the boy's aggression, that cruelty, that cowardice. Then you hear from the family that he was not a violent guy. It is very difficult for us because we are talking about a situation from images that have been shown to us. And there is no docile person, a loving person, a person of dialogue. No, there is an extremely aggressive man. Now, and what did this couple live before that night of the murder? How was that relationship? Did parents, mothers, brothers, friends have access to that girl's feelings? The feelings of that boy? Because we who are created inside, and the story went on in Garapuava, right? We have so much access to each other. We would even call gossip cause of it, right? But in the interior, it is like this. In large cities, people are more diluted. But in the countryside, inside, we know a little more about each other's life. And you know what the big problem is? When we realize that there is a slavery there, that there is suffering there, and we do not make the liberation movement because we have to interfere. Yes, if we know that someone is experiencing a process of slavery, it is our obligation to get there lovingly through people who can access and offer help. Just as these men shouted to Bartimaeus, unlike the first ones who had quiet, the seconds say, "Courage, get up. The master calls you." I went there in the life of that girl who gave me access to telling me your story. I made a little this second paper, "Courage, get up, and will solve your life." It is not fair that you are heading for a marriage knowing that you have already identified that this man does not love you, and that it is no use just loving it. The marriage does not work with a part just loving it. The marriage does not work with a part just loving. Marriage is difficult to work out with both parts loving, but when only one loves, it's failure. Already, right away. So the cloak. Sometimes we curl into this fetid cloak of slavery and think that he is the only thing we deserve to have. Sometimes he is the only warmth we think is deserved. No, you deserve much more. And just have the courage to judge you, to give up it, suffer the consequences of giving up. Because even who makes us bad we miss. Father. But I don't know how to live without him. I know I don't know how to live without him. But from the moment you take a distance and live the suffering of the break, you will identify that the best thing in life is to live without a T. You don't know how to live without it. You think it will suffer a lot. It's because you are still wrapped in the cloak of discomfort you think is the only thing you deserve. When you give up this cloak and let it fall and start walking toward the cure, because God does not leave us abandoned. My people, put it in your head. If you make a decision favorable to you, God does not abandon you. He will be by your side to help you overcome the pain of every day. Because only after that we disobey the group that has us silent, we obey the group that has us walk. That we tear the cloak is that we reach the cure of our blindness. Yes, the scales of the eyes fall as the scales of Bartimaeus' eyes fell. Then you look back and say, "My God, how did I endure I live that way?" Yes, because I think that's precisely what happened to Bartimaeus. After a while, already used to that slavery of the roadside, not to see, to be summarized to be a human worm, to have that cloak, metaphor of so many things, so many miseries we got used to. After he wins this process, the 3 steps, not obeying the voices that had him be quiet. Obey the voices that had him walk. if remove the cloak and stay before. And here the question, Martime. What do you want me to do? Martimo could very well have asked if it makes me rich. Blind, but rich. When we are in our misery, we have no temple to ask for the superfluous. We see exactly what we need. This is a very big conflict that I have. That sometimes, when we will pray, we ask God what we want, when in fact the honest would be to ask what we need. Bartimaeus certainly wanted many other things. I wanted wealth, I wanted power, I wanted fame. But at that time, Jesus' question goes at the heart of his need. Lord, that I see that. Because if I see again, I will be able to understand all that I have experienced to this day. And I will be able to get what I didn't look for during the time when I was paralyzed here. And then the miracle materializes. And how do we realize that we don't love each other when we identify in our way of living and being behaviors that denounce that we no longer take care of each other in life? That we made wrong choices and we didn't make much effort to change? That we went to sleep with the garbage every day and that we made our hearts a wasteland where all the trash in the world was deposited? This small part, the small part of the commandment is the challenge. It is very easy for you to move the other's life. The easiest thing you have, sometimes when we go to a date, right? You keep listening to the preacher talking. My God, but Comadre Geraldo had to be here. People. But that's all Comadre Geraldo needed to hear, guys. It is not. Still hits, you see. You were there, right? Here comes Comadre Geraldo, Benedita and such, right? No, I don't want to know what your neighbor needs, my word. No. No. And not even you who are at home. See, calling her Comadre for her to watch. No, I'm not a little worried about what you... Not. I don't want to know how much you pray. I don't want to know how much you're going to Mass. It doesn't care today. Love to God, we will speak at another time. The first night of this camp is neither for the first, nor for the second question. It's the midfielder. This is what can go unnoticed. Because sometimes we think the commandment, it will be well fulfilled if we love God and the other. Yeah, I know. Because the quality of these two loves depends on this so much that you cultivate. Oh no, Dad, makes me quiet. I'm doing my charity here. Do the charity for you first. The first one in need of charity in this life is you. It's me. It's the moment when we look at ourselves. It is the moment when we gather. It is the moment when we take care of each other. It is the moment when we love each other. Because that is where God is acting in the ability he has to erect. To make him happen. And then your neighbor will benefit from the human being who is gradually being worked on by the strength of the love that God manifests in you. And the whole family thanks you after you love yourself. And your friends will thank you because you love yourself. And your neighbors will thank you because you love yourself. And the sky will be partying because you love yourself. Because where there is a realized human being, God will be revealed. Look at a happy human being, and you can say, he is among us. Through this creature here. How many times, my people? How many times have you experienced desolation in your heart, and you haven't been able to love anyone? It is amazing how much this unloving, that destroys us. How much it disables us to look intelligently at God and people. Isn't it? How much your contempt for yourself makes you a person 80. How much your contempt for yourself makes you unpalatable with the other. Go to live with a person who doesn't like to see what it is. Go to live with a person who despises himself all the time for you to see what it is like. Go to live. Then you talk. I'm already living, priest. So, act. Do we need to convert to this? We need to find out of joy. The satisfaction that there is what we are, even with the defects we have. It's wonderful for us to look at us and think, my God, how many wonderful things today can happen in my life? And I don't have the right to neglect this? Is it God who looks at me, to you today? Mira, because God aims. It's a lot of people, but he aims. My conversation is with you. It's you I want. It's you. Ready? It's yourself. Do you know what I want to do in your life? May you, yes. Otherwise, you will have to make it make too much effort. It is not necessary. When love hits us, everything gets lighter. Do you work? From the yeah. Do you get damage? He takes so, but you take happy. Because you will experience the fun of giving the other what you give yourself. If you are able to be merciful to you, will you be able to be merciful to another too?